this video. I just created this video as a beginner's guide to video editing. Alright, but that sounds like really professional, like cool kind of, but like don't get it wrong. Like I don't know how to like do video editing, like super cool, super crazy video editing, like basic stuff. Like if you're like really bored and stuff and you like really wanted to do anything, like you really wanted to create a little video, edit it, put some text and stuff like that, like the simple video editing stuff. So yeah, I just wanted to create a small guide towards it. So like uh, in this guide I am going to talk about basically what are the kinds of free video editing softwares available on the internet, and which one is basically the best. So why am I like only focusing on the free video editing software? Because a, I don't have money. B, like the credit card system in my country does not allow me to buy stuff from the software from the internet, like the transaction does not work. And third, like it's like do you're doing this just for your fun, or like you're doing this as a like as a boring, like because you're bored, like you're doing this just because you're bored, so you wouldn't want to spend money. So yeah, so I'm going to talk about the free software. So the first video editing software that I'm going to talk about. So basically, like let me list the ones that I've used personally. So now I've used these three video editing software. The first one is called Filmora. The second one is called Kdenlive, and the third one is called DaVinci Resolve. So Filmora, Kdenlive, and DaVinci Resolve. So these are the three softwares that I've used to make my silly videos. So let's talk. Let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages and my thoughts on each of these softwares. So the first software that I ever used for video editing was called Filmora. So I used Filmora as my first ever video editing software. So there are basic advantages and disadvantages to it. So the advantage of Filmora is like Filmora is made by like a good company. Like it is not open sourced. Like I'll explain what open sourced is, but for the time being just know that Filmora is made by an actual company, like for profit company. So since it's made by a good company, the software is stable. So Filmora is stable, and it is primarily directed towards people like you, like us, like directed towards people like me, like those beginners who don't know much about video editing. So it is really easy to use, the second thing. And which basically means the user interface of the old software is very clean and simple. So I really like that. And then the disadvantage of Filmora is there's basically one disadvantage, and I would have stayed on Filmora, but then because of this one reason I left Filmora. And that one is the big disadvantage is it has a like really bad looking watermark on every video that you make. So you will have a watermark on your videos since you're not paying for the software. You will have the watermark on the video on that side, and that watermark is not subtle at all. It is like really prominent, like you can see it. And for some people it might not be a issue. It was not a issue for me for a couple of months that I was doing making videos on it. But then it is annoying, like it's really annoying. And as you'll see that later in this video, there are other softwares that are free and they don't even put watermarks on them. So there are better alternatives. So because of that hideous watermark I left this software, but otherwise it's good. And so that's pretty much it about Filmora. Easy to use, stable, good software, but watermark. So the next software I used after Filmora was Kdenlive. So after Filmora, I was looking for something that was actually free, not like those like fishy kind of free software. Like Filmora says it is free, but then there's a catch, right? There's a watermark. So I was looking for something that was completely free without any catches. So I stumbled upon something called Kdenlive. So Kdenlive is a completely free software, because the reason it is completely free is that it is open source. So no, that's like a technical term that makes me sound so smart, but it's not that difficult to understand. So the basic concept of something being open sourced is that I don't even know a lot about it, but as far as I know, a software that is open sourced means that like it's not made by a corporate company, like for example Filmora that I talked about. It's not made by a for profit company. It's like a volunteer software. So people don't get paid for making this software. So people all around the world, developers all around the world, like they voluntarily uh, provide their time and expertise into creating this software. So it's like a social work or something like that. So it is not for profit, and the creator, like the developers, do not get paid for updating and making changes into this software. So it is open source, or like a voluntary software kind of. You get the idea, right? So since it is open source, it is completely free. So that's one good thing. So some of the advantages of this are, it is the biggest advantage, it is open source and it's completely free. And the other advantage of this one is, I can't I can't even understand my own handwriting, man. Yeah. So this software is like a lot lighter than other software. So the file size of this software is lighter, smaller. So if you have space issues in your computer, you can download it. It's a good option. And the third thing, this is like a personal thing. I don't know if this is true or not, but then but I don't think if this is, I don't know if it's true or not, but then the thing is, whenever I completed editing a video and I started rendering it or exporting it, the export or the render times on this Kdenlive was a lot shorter than other editing software. So I don't know if that's really true or not, but I felt like the rendering speed was faster in Kdenlive. However, there are some significant disadvantages. So it is free because it is open source, but because it is open source, it has many disadvantages as well. So the first one being, since it is open source, people don't really have the incentive to put their time and effort into making this software better. So it's like a voluntary community work project or something like that. So since developers do not get paid, this software does not get updated like other softwares, and it has a lot of bugs in it. So for example, since it is like a really buggy software, whenever you are trying to edit video, like there are lots of problems, like small issues, like if you want to drag a video file and from like one place to the other, it is like really buggy and it crashes a lot. So working on Kdenlive was a nightmare because it is so buggy, and it's just really hard to, it does not run smoothly. It crashes, it pauses in the middle and stuff like that. So it is a really buggy program. So though it is free, it is really buggy, and it's not like really well maintained program. It does not get a lot of updates as well. So that's one thing to mind. So that's basically the biggest issue. It is not stable, it is buggy. It's basically not a really good program, uh, like like the other, because of the it's because it is open source. And the other disadvantage is it is not really meant for like beginners. It is not focused for beginners. So the whole user interface of this program is kind of difficult for someone who's just beginning to do video editing to understand. So For example, when I was talking about Filmora, like it was so easy to use, but then Kdenlive, it is really difficult to use, and the user interface is also really complicated. So if you're starting, I would not recommend you to start with Kdenlive, though it is free. So the third software that I use and that I'm currently using right now, and which I use to edit this video that you are watching as well, is called DaVinci Resolve. So this is the best editing software I found of the three, because DaVinci Resolve is created by a company called Blackmagic, and Blackmagic is a company, as I later found out, makes like 4K cameras. They are like basically a hardware company, but they also make this DaVinci Resolve software. So like this DaVinci Resolve software is like free. So unlike Filmora, it is completely free. There is no watermark and anything like that. It is easy to use, like it is like really clean interface and it is super easy to use, and it is really stable because it is made by a really big company, like that Black Magic company, the name of the company, like it is made by a really good company, so they really update this software a lot of the time, and it does not have any bugs whatsoever, so it's like a really stable good software. And what are the other good things about it? So uh, it's good for people who are just beginning and beginning to do video editing like me. Like the simple editing and stuff is really easy to do. However, you can also do advanced stuff on this. Like if you really want to like take this video editing thing to a next level, like doing like professionally, like there are lots of other features, like it has a ton of features like color grading and stuff like that, which I don't even understand. So like people make movies with this software, not this one, like it has a premium version as well, but then the basic software is this, so this is a very very powerful software as well. So there are lots of good things about this. However, the only bad thing, which is a minor thing, is that personally I don't even know if it's true. The render times on this software, this particular software, DaVinci Resolve, was a lot. I found it to be a lot slower than other two softwares that I've covered previously. So maybe it's like my perception on it, but like maybe it's only my perception, but I found like the render times to be a lot slower. And this software also, I think, puts like I feel like it put a lot more stress on my computer CPU and GPU while rendering a video. So keep that in mind. Like if you have a really if you don't have a really strong computer, then this DaVinci Resolve might create some heat issues and performance issues as well. But other than that, DaVinci Resolve is free, it is stable, it is a good software, it is easy to use, it has a lot of features, and it's like basically all rounder. Like this is the best software. So if you had to like choose one, I would say use DaVinci Resolve as the beginning software if you want to learn video editing or just make silly videos like these. And then if I had to rank it, the first one would be DaVinci Resolve, the second one would be Filmora 9, and then the last one would be Kdenlive. So that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching.